This Three Beers Media podcast may contain mature themes and may not be suitable for all audiences.
So I think my access was taken away because I can't see and control like I used to be able to put stuff on the screen. So I think a while ago I pissed off our man Ship and he just took all my access because he didn't want me doing some stupid stuff. And we lost the shine. What up?
This is why I stay out of that.
we got big play on here.
There he is.
We got Mr. Austen Arnaud. He just sent it. Ship just sent it. I don't know what he sent. But Austin's on here. We've been trying to get him on for a while, so we're gonna get to you in a little bit. Oh, but before we didn't get to this, we always do a recap after. So if you want to stay on after, you can stay on. We recap and talk about it. We never tell anybody that, and everybody jump off. So we can't really like say thank you to people like when we get done. So if you want to stay on when we get done, say thank you there. We got a special guest, Deshaun, on here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. He might be a little nervous, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not calling him out, but I know this is like one of his first times being on. Oh, Marcus Pfizer that jumped on.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey.
There you go.
What up? What up?
What's up? We just get started. We said we're gonna start without you. You figure it out. Oh man. So we were just going through Lane Danielson may jump on here a little bit later. He has some Mondays his kid has football practice. So just like you, Brent, he got stuff to do. So he might jump on a little later with us. But we here in the side of storm, new logo. If you haven't looked, you've seen a new logo kind of showing who we are. Man, I see a lightning bolt going through Brent's face. That's nice. I like how that just like overlays on everything.
That is smooth.
You see that? Yeah. But this is kind of a special episode because I don't know. I didn't write anything down. I didn't put any stats up because I really just wanted to like wing it because I am going to be scripting and writing stuff for the next 5 days. So I wanted to kind of just go off the cuff and just let y'all lead this. But I did want to start with a couple things, and this is leading up. You're going to talk about the win and the loss. But what I really want to talk about with this one right here is this the week of the Jack Trice 100 game. So I'm starting off with that no matter what. And I don't care. Audience, chime in when you want to chime in. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to start it. So what is a Ship? Who is that person? Hey, y'all see this chat?
Yeah, it's on your page. I can't remove it. I tried to remove it. So
man, I'm about to block. Who is that? I don't even know. We're blocking that person. They ain't real. That's from Twitter. X. They are DMXing me. You know, you like that DMXing me. I ain't getting nothing. Wow. Dad joke. I don't hold on.
Cold. Yeah.
I don't know.
Sound effects.
Like,
There you go.
There it is.
oh wow. Yeah, he hadn't brought that up.
But I haven't done nothing that stupid in a while. But 100 year. What you got to say, big play? It's just I'm on the mood. I'm in the mood today. I'm in the mood.
Hey man, get active, man.
This is a great week for me. It's a busy week for me, but it's a great week for Trice legacy. That's why we got my man Deshaun on here. I was looking to always support local, and as we look at this Jack Trice 100, I want to do a couple special things. And I reached out to my guy at Universal Cuts. Shout out to Craig Hunt over at Universal Cuts. When I come in town, he always gets me a cut. And then my man Michael Settle. I don't know if Michael's listening. Michael, if you listening, I wore one of his shirts one time. Me versus me. Good dude, fitness trainer. If you need some advice on how to get that midsection out of there, because he's gonna be working with me. Because I got to get rid of that dad middle. So he gonna be working on some things there. But he's a influencer and he's out there. But he linked me up with Deshaun, and I'm gonna let Deshaun show what he's been working on for me. But we want to honor Jack this year, ongoing, because I shared a couple things about this Jack Trice 100, and the one thing is October 8th is the anniversary of his death 100 years ago. Had Jack Trice lived, as I said before, the season might not have gone on because teams did not want to play against Iowa State or Ames College because they had a black player on the team. So we don't know what the season would look like. We don't know if Jack lived, will we be having a commemorative collection through Iowa State. We don't know if we would have the 5 bars represented because they have meaning because of a tragic event. And from the foundation, we want to continue with the man, again, more than just football, but we're talking about John Trice, the collective, his government name, John. He went by Jack, but we want to talk about the whole man and how do we, represent family, race, community of what he was a part of. And so when I was looking at ways to honor him, Hy-Vee came to a person I know and they brought me in and we got the cereal. So if you haven't seen the cereal, go to your local Hy-Vee, especially in central Iowa, wheat flakes. I'm sending boxes out. So if you want a box, text 515-805-7523. Chip, can you put that on the bottom for me? 515-805-7523. We got some boxes. We're going to be giving out some boxes, but just text us there. And then Peachtree and First Down Brewing, Sam Anchor, long snapper, walk-on long snapper back in the day for Iowa State, came up with it. And this is one of the things we're going to be giving out at the event. It's a slap koozie, but it's the I Will, the Legend Beer slap koozie. So everybody that comes to our foundation, 515-805-7523. That's a little thing about Max. Stuff pops up on my screen. And so we're going to have some Legend Beer there. But I had a pair of Air Force Ones. Now I'm a big Air Force One person. I love Air Force Ones. And, Nike's been doing the Nike, customs for a while. You can get different shoes. And, I was like, all right, that's cool. And I had this pair of all whites. Now, I don't know if Deshaun did anything with the toothbrush on there. I ain't asked him that yet, but that's a toothbrush that was attached to them because those are the original OG re-releases. But he was working on a pair of those for me. So I'm going to have him show those live. And those are mine. This pair of shoes that we're going to show, I'm wearing them on the field for the game. My daughter will be cheerleading at halftime. I'm going to be there with Nationwide. I'm sneaking on the field. They don't give me a pass, but they're going to be worn on the grass at the game. And I'm keeping one shoe and I'm raffling or auctioning off the other shoe. Yes, one shoe. Somebody's like, you're going to give one shoe. Put it on your shelf. I'm putting it on my shelf just to say it was on the field for the 100th anniversary game. Piece of history. You'll never see it again. It'll never happen again. So I'm raffling off or auctioning off. I don't know how much it's going to go for. Yeah, I'm looking for the money people to come and give money. I don't have the graphic. I need money from how high, but I need money. And so we're going to auction off that one. But also, Iowa State has an all-white cleat they're wearing. The white cleat is clean. It was just plain Jane. And Nike sold out of them because Iowa State bought all them joints. So I went to Shields. Shout out to Shields in West Des Moines, Jordan Creek. Donated 3 pair of these shoes. And so I sent them to Deshaun after we worked on it with my Air Forces. And he's already released the Air Forces a little bit, but I wanted to show those in person. But he was working on an idea. I said, you the artist. These are some of my parameters. Do what you do. And so I know nothing about Deshaun except for somebody introduced me. So that's why I have him on here. He doesn't have to be on here the whole time. I want him on here for 15 minutes to talk about himself, talk about why he did these shoes for me, and what his feeling is about him and how he feels about him, because 2 of them so far are going to some special people. One's going to go to the first recipient of the Jack Trice Endowed Scholarship from Iowa State Athletics, and that's Anthony Johnson Jr. So that pair is going to go up there. We're not going to reveal that one. We're not going to show that one yet because I want him to reveal that one his own when he gets the shoe. The other 2, one pair is going to go to the second recipient of that award as well, and then the third pair will be auctioned off. But Deshaun, I want you to be here for 5 minutes. Tell us who you are, what you're about, how you got into doing this, the collab with the Trice Legacy Foundation and why you wanted to do it, and then just reveal the shoe and talk about what you put on the shoe and how that came about. So, Deshaun, the floor is yours real quick on this episode of Side of Storm, brought to you by Revelton and Three Beards Media.
Got you. So, hey, I'm Deshaun. I'm from Des Moines, and I got into this business back in 2020. I played football in college at Waldorf, and I was just tired of everybody having the same cleats, and I always liked shoes, and I always just drew in class. So I just custom my own cleats, and then my teammates was like, "Dang, where'd you get those at?" And I'm like, "I made them," and then they start asking for them. So that's when I started getting into the business and just started doing it for teammates, and then moved on to friends and family, and so yeah. And I did this project really because it is a big thing. I seen it at the Iowa State Fair. I seen it everywhere. The frosted flakes. I seen it at stores. It's a big thing, and I'm big on that. In being local, it meant a lot to me because George reached out and was like, "You're from Des Moines. I want you to customize some," and it meant a lot because a lot of Iowa people don't get that much attention. So I felt happy and excited about them.
So let's do the reveal. Let's see what you was working on, young man.
All right, so here's the forces. These are the forces. And so I started out, George wanted the red to be old fashioned, back in the day, and I found this autumn red that I felt like it was a good color for it, and it turned out pretty good. And then I got the champagne gold to match the pants that I would say is gonna be wearing, and then the details. So, oh, go ahead.
No, he's just loving it. That's all good right there.
All right. So then the detail work, it says "I will," and I was going to only put it on just one "I will," but then I was like, that's just too basic, and so I just put it around the whole toe bottom, and I was going to put it around the whole shoe, but I'm like, that's doing too much, and I don't want it to be too busy. And then so on the back, it has the 100-year anniversary with Jack Trice, the face in the middle of the 0. Got that. And then on this pair, I got the symbol, Jack Trice symbol, the AIM symbol. And then I got Ames right here. And then that's basically the shoe right here. And that was the first pair I did before I did the other two. And I like that.
Yes, those are my shoes. Why did everybody disappeared? But yes, so those are my shoes. We're gonna, like I said, auction off one shoe. I'm wearing them on the field, so one shoe. Those are paid with my own money. That's not foundation money that we spent on those. That was my money. I had them sitting here, and I wanted something special. But everything I do comes back to the foundation. So now let's get to these. Just show one pair of cleats. Show the pair that's not going to the other recipients. Just show that one pair. Talk about that one. We'll let those recipients tweet out those and show theirs, but show this one and talk about this other one.
So here's the pair of cleats right here. I got different colors on them. And
Deshaun did release a video in his story. So if you're on Twitter, DE_customs or /customs is where you can find them at on social media. And he did release a video of all the shoes. So you can see the 2 pair of shoes and the Air Forces on there if you want to get a better look at them.
Yes, sir. So yeah, got the AIM symbol again on the front toe. And I got the legacy of Jack Trice with the doves.
And that's one of the things that I saw that and I was like, man, that was an accent that I never thought about. And again, when an artist is doing their thing, I like to give them my idea, but I'm not the artist. Otherwise, I'd be doing it myself. Right. So giving him the opportunity to do that, and the doves, because we're remembering them, and that's when doves fly, is one of those things that represents somebody when they go to that next level. So I like that, and I look at it and say, you got the glow around it too, like Bruce Leroy. You got that glow. He's reached that next level. Is that glow? Big play. I know you smiling in there because I like it, man.
Yep. I'm trying to find a way to get these jokers.
They don't. I don't know what size you wear.
14.
Okay, so Marcus, I know you were like what, 16, 18?
Marcus
We're
feet
18,
way
son.
bigger than that. I was
You were
gonna say,
18,
way
Marcus?
bigger than that.
Yeah, we're 18.
So Deshaun is while he's showing these, Deshaun is going to be doing at least one more. So Alan Lazard will be wearing a pair of these custom shoes, and I don't know if I told Deshaun that I had Alan wearing one of his shoes. So Deshaun, a size 13, when I get it, you'll be customizing one for Alan Lazard. So he will be calling you out. He'll be doing that. And now I know Brent need one. So Big Play need a 14. Marcus need an 18. You know, but do you
I don't
even
know if he gonna find my.
huh?
I don't know if he can find my size.
Man, we hold on. Nike about to see this and we about to blow up. So we gonna find your size. Meaning, if they can make color changing shoes for heat activated shoes for Oregon, they can come up with it. Did you see them heat activated shoes? Google the cleats. Google the cleats that Oregon wore against Prime. They were heat changing. So when your feet wet,
the color forces.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I made a pair of those before.
Yeah, so the heat from your shoes and it makes them change color. Like that's what Oregon did in them shoes against Prime. They wanted to show up in sunglasses. He sold $4.2 million in sunglasses in a week. They wanted to say, what can we do to top sunglasses? Color changing shoes. Sorry about that. Man, this is how we get off on tangents this time. Go ahead, my man.
Okay, yes. I had the accent. When I first did them, like I was just messing around with them. So you see how I did like the different color, the gold, the red. And then I did words, but the words were just red. I didn't put the white on yet. And I was like, nobody's going to be able to read that. So then I put the white around it to make it pop. And it showed out pretty well. And then got the 100 on here again with Jack Trice on it. Yep. And then this pair, I have his silhouette on here. Then I got Ames on the side. And then I got I Will right here. So yeah, that's the pair right here.
I appreciate that. So much love for you doing that, man. And you know, and like I said, you know, going with someone local, a local artist, finding someone, giving them opportunities. And that's one of the things the foundation is looking to do is, you know, give opportunities. And some of the things we're doing for the tailgate, we're supporting a couple small, you know, Black-owned businesses as well with some lemonade we'll have at the event that you can see. Find us on social media, and then some cookies and cakes and things like that that will also be there from a local bakery. But Deshaun, I really appreciate what you're doing. I really appreciate you taking your passion and finding a way to do it in a positive way. Because again, we have still never met. We won't meet until like this week on Thursday or something like that when I pick these shoes up. And we will have them displayed at the tailgate. If you come to the tailgate, go to Trice Legacy Facebook, you'll find the tailgate information. Buy a ticket. Even if you're not going to be there, still buy a ticket because we will have some raffle prizes that you can win without being present. But again, Deshaun doing that for us, I really appreciate that, and I really wish you well in everything you do. Please give us your handle on your social media again so people can find you and look at the work you're doing and the work that you will do.
Okay, yeah, appreciate it for having me on here. And my handle is DE_customs on Instagram and TikTok. DE_customs.
Look them up, check them out. I saw them tag Nike Customs in there, so I saw that. So make sure that work is up there, man, because you're doing your thing.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, hey, salute you. We appreciate you. I'll be in touch with you this week. But thank you for jumping on with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Good luck, kid.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Appreciate you.
Yep. So, you know, again, that's a good young man. Met him through. So we know he's doing some things because I met him through people that are doing things in the Des Moines area. You know, I'm a part of the Ames Chamber of Commerce, and now I've joined the Des Moines Chamber of Commerce. Like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, Waterloo and Davenport are next on my list because that's where the community have the biggest need in Iowa as we start to build the communities and help these kids get to that next level. So, Sam, I'm always willing to take your money. So whenever you want to give it to me, just go ahead and pass it on, because Sam is the one that kind of came up with the idea. You know, I try to take some credit, but he came with the idea of these slap koozies. You know, people use these. I mean, everybody that gets one of these from the tailgate, this is also a great koozie for when you do rag bri, because it rolls right over your bike frame. Wow, there it is, over your bike frame. So when you stop at all them stops along the way, cold beverage.
Well, Sam and I played together, so big shout out, Sam.
Sam, if you want to get on, man, we will send you the link. Sam, if you want to get on and talk to Austen, you let me know. Just put a post out there. We'll have him send you that. But so I have never met Sam either, Austen. So he reached out to Iowa State, and they didn't want to tell him they had a beer coming out that was going to get their funds. So they directed him to me, because it wasn't going to make them money. So they came to me, and I'm like, all right, cool, let's do this, Sam. And Sam it's a small coming up brewery, and so the partner with Peachtree was able to get us more beer. So we went through like what was it, 2,000 cases. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we stop at 2,000 so far, or are we still at about 2,000 cases that are there? 10 of them will be at the event. But yeah, so hearing Sam's story, Sam has partnered with me well with this red corn ale, and like we become like pretty cool, even though we haven't met. It's like he was texting me the other day. I'm like, this weekend, I'm trying to get my outfit together like it's the first day of school, So it's like it's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like, man, what can I wear with these shoes? I got another custom pair of shoes out. Me and my cousins coming in. So me and two of my cousins are coming in, my first cousins. So we all got custom Hirachis on. So you will see these Hirachis around in Iowa State colors with a Trice Legacy on them. But the three family members, we got some Hirachis custom made too. Not painted and custom, but as custom as Nike would allow us to do. But I digress. We want to welcome Austen on here. Austen, we really appreciate you jumping on with us. We'll get Sam on here one day to talk with us. Sam, if you want to call my cell phone, we can patch you in through cell phone. So if you call me, I'll get you patched in to talk and ask some questions and tell some embarrassing stories about Austen. That's what we like to do on here. What are you up to these days, man? Welcome on. Tell us about what you're doing these days, and just talk to us, man.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me on. I live in Oakland right now. I've been in the Bay Area since 2017. Was doing the medical consultant gig, but recently I transferred over. I switched over to still a sales job. So I've been in sales for a long time, but I've got a team. I'm regional vice president at a hospitality company. So we do restaurant point of sale. So like software for restaurant owners. So that's been fun. But yeah, man, I love the Bay. Northern California is love. Like it's obviously it's a lot different than where I grew up at. I grew up in Ames and then lived in North Carolina for a little bit. Besides the taxes and my rent, California is cool. I'm enjoying it out here, and it's fun to catch up with y'all because that's one element that I've lost. I think I've been out of Iowa for about 10 years now, but having that camaraderie, being able to talk about it weekly at Iowa State, I love that, and I get to see Marcus Fison, man. I grew up. I was in the driveway pounding the ball, posting my buddies down like I was number 5 in the paint.
All right.
This is big time.
Don't make me too old now. Don't make me too old now. Don't make me too old now. Come on now.
No, but thank you for having me. I really appreciate y'all. Really do.
Yeah, man. No, we appreciate you jumping on. Marcus, he just aged you, man. Sorry about that.
Hey, just a number, brother. That's all.
As long as I'm still here. Yeah. Appreciate you too, brother.
So, hey, it's been 2 weeks. Marcus, Brent, what y'all been up to? Anything y'all want to update us on? Everything good with y'all? Because it's been a couple weeks.
Man, life is life, man. I just got back in town from Tennessee. Went to see my grandmother. Wasn't doing so great, but had a lot of. She showed a lot of improvements when I was in town. So I was a plus man, and we working, and my team is 5-1 right now. We take on the number 1 team this Friday in Southeast Polk. So it'll be a big challenge for us to see where we land. So
is it a home game or is it at Southeast?
It's a home game.
Home game, man. I'll be at the Order to Know. Otherwise, I'll be down there. But I gotta smooth and kiss babies and shake hands.
That's what you do best, sir.
Hey, that is what I do, ain't it? Dang, I'm known.
Do it.
What about you, Mark?
I mean, just same old, week in and week out, trying to keep these kids healthy, fed, and everybody, living one more breath, one more day. Just continuously, progressing on in life. That's about it. Watching these games, just trying to take it in all as a fan now, and just hoping for some victories, man.
Yep, that's what's up. I'm happy that the the weather has kind of cooled down for us. I am so excited about going back to Iowa this weekend. I think it's gonna be like 60 degrees as a high on Friday. Like, and people were like cringe at that. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's football weather. That's fall football weather. And I don't get that out here. You know, and it's like right now it was 85 and beautiful today. It was beautiful, but it wasn't, you know, football weather. Like, I didn't want to eat no chili. You know, I didn't want to eat that heavy hot food. You know, it's still too hot for that. But going back for a week, about 4 days, getting out there Thursday and being able to put a sweatshirt on every day and just kick it. Like, man, I might have to.
That's why you got to move to the Bay, George. That's like it every day.
So
sunshine and just throw a hoodie on.
But hold on, y'all sometimes wear bubble jackets too, like it's 5 degrees outside, walking around wearing bubble, Canadian goose feathered pillows and coats and
You're right.
Yeah. I lived in Sacramento for a minute, so I was in Sacramento from 13 to 15, and then I was in LA before that, so I loved LA. But yeah, the Bay, what do they say about the Bay? The coldest summer you ever get? Like, you don't know what the weather is.
The coldest winter is in summer, whatever. Something.
It's something crazy out there.
We call it an Indian summer, but hey, man, it's all good. This is the best time of the year to be out here. So
yes, no, it's great, man. But you know, we're going against TCU up here this Saturday coming up, and you know, but we we won the game before this. We beat Oklahoma State. We beat Oklahoma State. And I wish we would have had an episode to talk about that. Because now we're talking about 29 unanswered. 29 unanswered.
Quickly. I was on Twitter. Letting them have it. And then before I knew it, man, all 4 of those tires went flat. I was like, man.
So I can't even finish the tweet.
Man, I mean, the defense has been what's been holding us together. I think even last year, having the season we had, the defense again stopping less than. I mean, all of our games except for one last year, I think, was lost by less than a touchdown. And this year was continuing the same way. The game with losses we had less than a touchdown, and then to get blown out this way by 20. Been a while since this has happened to us. 30. Sorry. I didn't want to say it. 30. That's a lot. The defense. What happened to the defense? What happened? Where did they go?
Well, I didn't watch the game, so you know.
You had stuff going on. So
I didn't watch it, but the box score looked pretty ugly. All I saw was 520 some yards for the other guys. So figured they were doing a lot of stuff right on the passing game. Because their run game, it looks like they only gave up like $120, $130 or something like that. But it seems like everything was going crazy through the air. So I don't know. You guys can feel me.
I think you know I was lucky enough to sit down and take a peek at it. And it was a tale of two halves, right? Like the first half, they were running the football consistently. Hadn't done that yet this year. You know, they were running it like downhill. It looked like the Cyclones of old, you know, with Brees and David and them running downhill. And, you know, passing game was hitting too. But, man, that quarterback for OU, as much as, like, he made me cringe. You know, you watch a guy and he's, like, bumping into our guys, trying to talk mess. It's like, man, you're the quarterback. You know how it is, Curve. Like, come on, man. Like, you're the quarterback. Right. But he was talking a lot. But he was backing it up, man. He was a true dual threat, and they can have an answer for him all night. Like, he was able to get where he wanted to go at any time. So, you know, the first time I saw the defense, like, really struggle with the quarterback, like, for a while, like you said, George. Yeah. They struggled a little bit.
You know, you think about the fact that, you know, I bet you about 80% of the fans, you know, went and took a bathroom break after that pick six at the beginning of the game. They're like, man, I'm done with this. And they probably went and took a bathroom break. We came back and scored. So it's like, hey, we can do this. Yeah, we're going to have some mistakes. We're going to have some growing pains. But, yeah, it was a tale of two halves. That second half was just like nothing. And Curve, you said it well about the yardage. And so I pulled up the stats for TCU. TCU was averaging total yards for 487 a game. And they're holding opponents to 370, I believe is what it is. Yeah, 370. But they're scoring almost that 500 yards. Now per play about 6, so it's not like they're big plays per se on that. But their passing is about what is it saying? Average per attempt about 8. Rushing yards gained about 4.5. So it means that they're just pounding. They're just pounding and they're having the game. They're having control of the game. Is what I'm seeing here. They're controlling the pace. They're controlling the game as they want to. Now, people are going to be like, you look at TCU. TCU has their ups and downs as well, but they have always been a thorn in our side. And that's no pun with the Horned Frogs, but they've always been a thorn in our side because you never know what's really going to happen. Oklahoma State wasn't ranked this year, and we beat them, what we typically do. But Oklahoma, seeing that second half, I just wanted to like throw the TV off, take the TV off the wall and throw it. Like you can't do that and expect to. You can't be that way. I mean, Marcus, what did you see?
Well, for me, like it's easier to, I guess you would say, analyze other games. When I'm watching us, like I'm really in fan mode. So, it goes from being happy to pissed off to, slamming shit and all that type stuff. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I'm watching, I'm like, dang, I got to sit down and try to pay attention to it a little bit more and get out of this fan mode. But the passion be so deep inside because I want to win the ball game. So the pick six, the turnovers, the fumbles, all of that, the missed coverages, when they drop back and they just like, come on, I could have caught that guy. Like he's so wide open, I could have threw the pass to him, that type stuff. So I to be honest, a lot of times I'm just like, the numbers, how many, rushes we've stopped or how many rushes they have. I really don't be knowing a lot of it for our games. Like if I'm watching other games, then I'm, X's and O's. But I turn so much into the fan when I'm watching us. It's like, man, I just want to win. So it's like, man, like I take it to heart when things aren't going good and when they are going bad and when they are going good for us. I'm tweeting, I'm jovial about it all over Twitter, but as soon as they go bad, you see the whole fan come out of me too. So I mean, shit, y'all the football guys. I don't know.
We all know too that football is your first passion. So
it is. But I mean, like now I'm the fan, like just wanting to watch. I got the football game on now, wanting to watch it and seeing what's going on. Those exits, like Curvey got on there and just said, about the number of yards. I hadn't even looked at that. Once we lost, I'm like, oh, I'm not even worried about no other games. And just right, my whole mood is gone. Because we coming off a win. We playing Oklahoma now. We're playing good in the first half. I'm still in that fan mode.
Yeah, I'm just looking at our stats. We talk about our total offense. In our total offense, we averaging about 317 yards per game. And that's below the average of what TCU is holding their teams to. So as we noodle on that, I do want to go to our first break and shout out Revelton. So Revelton, tell us about Lucy.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
Thanks, Ship. And hey, I'm liking the darker background on our commercials. I like that. I think that goes with our cast a little bit. But as we talked about that Revelton, I do want to shout out. I haven't told Marcus and Curvey yet, but we have added a sponsor that we're going to be adding, and I want to shout them out now because they have committed. So Sweet Caroline's Whiskey River, they are now one of our sponsors. So I want to shout out them. They're up in Ames and in Ankeny, but Sweet Caroline's Whiskey River, they want to be a part of this.
Nice.
Bring some more, but We do want to shout you out now. I'm gonna let them know we shouted them out early. They haven't paid me the money yet. I don't know how much it's gonna be, but I just want to get some sponsors. As Marcus says, Austin, we talk about that Joe Budden money. We're trying to see if we can get that. But you know what? I'm going a whole other way. You know what? I want to gain 900,000 followers in 1 week. So Taylor Swift, can me and you go out on a date or act like we did? Can I just put your picture next to my picture so that I get 900,000 followers? My jersey ain't gonna go up 400% like Travis Kelce's jersey came out, but Kelce has changed. If you look at Kelce, he had the full beard and everything. From Cleveland, he was a different dude.
The NFL's up to something, man. I'm telling you.
Do you see this? Now, did you see before the game yesterday that they had like a special intro with Carson Daly had a special intro before the Sunday night game, about Swifties. Did y'all see that?
No, I missed that.
They had a little episode because, again, Kelce's jersey sales are 400% up, and he gained 900,000 followers in that week since he was on TV. And what's crazy about that is I didn't hear the whole news story, but I was watching the news this morning. I heard it on it there. ASU, Arizona State University, who's now part of the Big 12, is having a class that's based on Taylor Swift. I don't know if it's not based on her per se, but it's based on, I guess, how she just does it. I don't know. I'm gonna Google it to find out. But it was on the news. This Swiftie or whatever they call it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, Toya, we're talking about Taylor Swift. We're talking about her. We're talking about Taylor because I don't know how is she? She's America's sweetheart, but she changed Travis Kelce. He only got a mustache now. I don't recognize him. He's not the Cleveland dude I knew. I'm from Cleveland. I got a goatee. I got at least a goatee. Tell me about it. Something about Taylor Swift and Kelce.
I think you better keep winning Super Bowls. Huh? I think you better keep winning Super Bowls.
You got to.
There's gonna be a problem. I mean, he was a Super Bowl champion before he met her. We don't know when he met her.
We don't. We don't.
All right.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything. Like his ex-girlfriend hasn't said anything.
She has. She was on Instagram.
Oh.
She was on Instagram earlier.
Can you tell us a little bit what she was talking about a little bit?
She was. I mean, you know me. I don't get deep. But, if it you click on it and it has that long bar that they got. You probably gonna get 15 seconds out of me. My wife all the time. She's on TikTok. She's always sending me these TikToks, and they be like 17 minutes. I be like, I am not watching all of that. I'm just not watching all of that. But she was saying something about not like he's high maintenance. He's very demanding or something like that.
Oh,
controlling is
okay.
What I think. And she started talking a little bit, and it got about to the 17, 18 second. I was trying to go on past that because I'm not trying to get that in my psyche. But yeah, I saw a little bit of it earlier.
Oh yeah, because Toya said he's a cheater. Now, I'm a married man. I'm a man. I'm gonna say this because it's my podcast.
Oh, she saw it all. She saw it all. Okay.
Yeah. I saw his ex-girlfriend.
We all saw her.
And I saw Taylor Swift.
We all saw that comparison.
I like people. People. But what I'm saying is there's a difference. Now,
a little bit.
Taylor is they need two Taylors. Two Taylors. What'd you say, babe? Oh, my wife said never. She heard me through the door. I'm just saying it was two Taylors. I digress.
He wasn't thinking Toya.
Toya said she a baddie. But 400% in my sales, 900 followers. He knows something we don't know. He knows something we don't know. And You know, just like I like Sam. Sam said, "Put that. Can you take that number off and put Sam's comment up there?" Because, but maybe what I liked about that was I think about Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige her albums are always great, but you could tell the tone of it by if she's happy or if she just went through something.
Right.
So, Sam, I think you're right because this is going to be the greatest album Taylor Swift ever comes. And she's not going to be American Sweetheart because she will because everybody going to side with her because she's American Sweetheart. But this is going to be interesting because I don't think it's going to last long. But if you win the Super Bowl,
then what happens?
Yes.
But then what happens if they break up? Whose fault is it? They're not going to think it's her fault.
No, she's American Sweetheart.
Right.
The Swift is
Austen, you ain't saying that. You can laugh back there. You got.
I don't know. Hey, I don't know what we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about. You know.
No, I do. I'm just tired of her getting every 30-second clip on. I'm trying to watch the game here.
Right.
And no disrespect, Taylor Swift is probably the most profitable musician of all time, or entertainer of all time. She's got it down pat. I think that's why they put those classes out there. Like you can figure out how to monopolize yourself.
Yes.
I think Stanford's doing it too.
Are they?
But
okay.
My 2 cents on this is my wife started this and she's smart. The NFL is up to something. We're trying to get the ratings up. We're trying to make sure that we see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like there's something behind it, I think. And if the NFL profits off of it, I think there's something to it.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, especially with everything going to YouTube. I have YouTube TV, but the way things are going, it's about that money and how you're gonna make that money and how you're gonna keep people back engaged. Again, showing Taylor Swift. I know this show ain't even about her, but showing Taylor Swift at the football game, at the Chiefs, who are the reigning Super Bowl champs. When you show that, if Travis Kelce went up 900,000 followers, how much do you think the NFL went up last week? Like, what were the ratings on Sunday night's game when they had Carson Daly doing a little show on at the beginning? You're talking about the new classes coming out. What is going on here, and in this world, and that is the story. You cut to her every 5 seconds. When Kelce does something good, you cut to her. When Kelce does something bad, you cut to her. What is it? And that's just the question for the ages, man.
You got something figured out, man.
Put that on the screen. Hold on. Put it on the screen, Diddy. I still owe you a shirt. If they break up, her next #1 hit will be "Losing You" would be a travesty. You are the dad joke winner. I wish I had a world. Oh man.
That's a good one.
That's good.
Oh, yep. And you're right. Because I think about this, Toya. And I was talking about this the other day, and we talked about this a little while ago before you jumped on. But we were talking about Dion's glasses pre-sold $1.2 million in like 2 days, and then within a week they pre-sold $4.2 million for his sunglasses. Pre-orders of the sunglasses. Don't know where it is now because he's been kind of losing. Again, his son didn't look good at quarterback last week. Hunter's out still for a couple more weeks at least, so it didn't look as good. But Oregon. We were talking about that had color changing shoes. They were heat activated by the ink and the pigment in the shoes. It's where can they get this money? Like, it's all about the money and about the ratings because I think things have been changing so far. And the NFL was losing some things because I know that the two leagues decided they were going to combine for a summer league. So we're going to have football all year round, right? Did you hear about that, Kirby?
No, I didn't.
They're the two leagues are forming. They're coming together like semi-pro leagues that have football in the summer, and they're going to get a bigger conglomerate. And we're going to have like a summer football league that's going to be coming out, kind of like the XFL and the UFL, something like that's coming out, and they combine. And now there's going to be some kind of summer league going on. Because again, I don't know what this is about. I don't know where this money's coming from, and there's a lot of things shuffling right now because I think the American people, aren't spending the money like that like they used to. And these tickets and things like that are astronomical prices. Because I'll tell you, I'm a Browns fan, and I yesterday if the Browns would have won, I was going to buy a Sunday ticket. Not a fair weather fan. I'm still going to support them. I'm not paying $300 to watch them lose. Like, no, I don't want to do that. It's the same thing. Like, if I go to the Super Bowl, would I rather buy the nicest TV I can buy, 85-inch for like $3,000, or pay for a ticket? I got good bathrooms and food and toilet paper in the privacy of my own home,
Right.
and get a better view than the $3,000 up in the nosebleed I'll be paying for. As a fan, as a sports person, you know, I don't get as involved as some people do. I'm not gonna let it affect my day. You know, I'm gonna be like, dang, they lost. I mean, what the hell are they doing? They're gonna be mad for like 5 seconds. You gotta move on and do your thing. You can't let it consume your life. They're playing and getting paid to play, what we're paying them to do. That's just my take on it. You know, Marcus, I know y'all being at these next levels, you might have a different opinion, but that's just my opinion, Marcus. I'll let you jump in on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Same way, like we saw something saying that the Super Bowl is here in Vegas this year or next year, whatever, for the season. My wife was like, "You want to go?" And I was like, "Hell no, we're not paying for no Super Bowl. Like, I will watch it right on the TV or somewhere where we're comfortable because it'll be $10,000 to be sitting up in the nosebleed. No, I'll watch it right here. I'm the exact same way. Like I enjoy the games. I want to see my team do well, but I'm also fair about what goes on. Being an ex-athlete, ex-pro athlete, the ins and outs and ends of what goes into preparation and yada 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 and all that. So at the end of the day, once it's over, I was always the the player that once the game was over, it was over. My wife, she's been through some of the things, with some of the other wives at the game where if their husband had a bad game, and she said oh, it's going to be a hard time at home tonight. And my wife was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, he had a bad game, yada yada yada. My wife's like, Marcus never brings that home, because it's just two different worlds. You have to try to separate them both. Some people can, some people can't. But for me, it was just what I'm doing at that time. It's the love of the game. It's my job, and when that job is over, being a family man, the husband, and the father, what comes in next. And so for people who, you got a lot of people that's doing a lot of things. You got a lot of people that's betting a lot of money, and this is what they call their livelihood or whatever. So they take it too deep. Blood pressure's through the roof, having heart attacks. I'm not trying to go through all of that. I'm just trying to be calm, watch the game. Hopefully my team win. If my team don't win this week, we get on to the next week.
Yep. Like that. Austen, you got anything on that one?
Man, probably unpopular opinion. I'm in the stands. I like to go. I like to be in the environment, man. I've always been that way. Cost is always something. I live in the Bay. Like, you go to Warriors game on a Tuesday night is $300. So like, I'm not doing that. But like, if the occasion presents itself and like, this may never happen, but if the Vikings playing a Super Bowl somewhere close to me, I'm going to that. But will that happen? Probably not. That's my Sundays, y'all. They won yesterday. I'm sitting here watching Kirk Cousins, knowing that we're not going to where I want to go, and I got to still watch.
Kirk Cousins would win if his wife didn't pick out his plaid shirts at all of them. I watched.
Kirk Cousins would win. He takes Tuesdays off. If you watch that Netflix thing, he takes Tuesdays off.
I saw it.
Yes. Quarterback. You gotta be there. You can't take Tuesday off.
I saw that.
Oh, that's great stuff, man. But it's crazy there, and it's good to talk about this stuff because I like to talk about it because as we think about our Iowa Staters in the stands. Now I will tell you, I had to go home for a funeral. One of my best friends from high school, his mom passed of pancreatic cancer on Thursday. She had been battling that, and just caught it late. So I gotta get. I'm in Iowa this weekend coming up. Then I gotta get on a flight when I come back and go to Cleveland to give them some love and some support. The Browns play the 49ers there, so while I'm in town, I'm gonna try to go to the game. I mean, my thing is representing, going to see Iowa Staters play. I'll do that, but I got to get Brock Purdy to get me a ticket, like somewhere close, like not up top, but somewhere. So Brock, if you're listening, I know you're not.
That should be the easy work.
Brock, if you're listening, Miles Minison, I was with your parents, and I know you're still good friends with Purdy. Purdy, holla at your boy. You don't know me. My name is George Trice. I'm an alumni of Iowa State. I'm going to come support you. But I'm going to sit in the dog pound. So please get me a ticket in the dog pound because I'm a Brown for life.
That ain't gonna happen.
You talk about, hey, Austin, you talk about, the Bay Area. So, Marcel.
Yep.
Howard. So his brother played at UNI. He played for the Raiders. So we went out to a couple of Raiders games when he played because I was living right down the street. So we went out there, and Sale's birthday's at the end of October, and I was in Chicago, and they're like, "Hey, Austin's playing in Cleveland." I'm like, "Say less." I'm like, "Let's go." So we took 3 carloads from Chicago to Cleveland. Our homeboy had enough points for Hilton, so we bought our Hilton hotels, and then we went out and ate with Austin. And he got us tickets, and I think we traded his tickets. And I was like, "Hey, we sit at the dog pound because this is what we gonna do." So Marcel had never been in the dog pound. Marcel had never been in the Muni court out there, Muni field. And we're walking around, and people seeing him. He got invited places I didn't even know existed. I'm from there. Like these buses that Marcel was like, "Hey, Marcel, big dude. Hey, big dude, come here. Who are you? Oh, yeah. Okay, come in this bus." Man, I'm right behind them. They couldn't see me. I'm like, "Yeah, let's go on this bus." Man, it was wild. But Marcel hates Cleveland because, and Marcel, I know you listening to us. I'm telling you, Marcel hates Cleveland. He hated going there with me because Marcel made the Lions last preseason game. He made it all the way through to the Lions' 4th game, and it was against Cleveland in Cleveland. And he re-broke the wrist that he broke in college. And because it was pre-existing and he had broke that same wrist, they cut him, saying that was not something they were willing to take on. And so he got cut from the team. Now, Austin, I know he ain't listening. Marcel got better feet than Austin. It's like your feet ain't the same as your big brothers. But you good, but he had better feet. I hope he ain't listening because I'm gonna see him. He's gonna be at the game this weekend. I got him tickets. He's gonna probably punch me in the face. It's gonna hurt. My homeboy, I've known him since he was like 12. But yeah, I mean, it's just you go there, you look at these things. Just always want to support the home team and the home players. So I mean, I'm just glad seeing Purdy doing what he's doing to be the last pick of the draft. Going out there and showing, coming back from the injury, and still it's only 2 undefeated teams, and he is one of them. So he's undefeated in the league, right? He has not lost a game.
Well, regular season.
Start to finish.
Regular season, yeah.
Regular season, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a regular season game since he's been. I mean, and that's just phenomenal for him to be doing that. I'm out here. I'm about 45 minutes to an hour away from where he grew up. He went to school in Gilbert, but he's from Queen Creek. I think his parents split their time out here, but it's good to see him doing his thing. Good to see everybody doing their thing. I saw Montgomery. Did y'all see Montgomery?
3 touchdowns.
Yes,
David Montgomery was killing the game. What? He got rejuvenated out there. He left the Bears, got rejuvenated with them Lions. He got to stay on animal teams. Keep him on these animal teams because he's playing like what, Brent? Say what you gotta say.
Man, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, aren't outside of the Commanders, who isn't an animal team?
The Chargers.
Chargers
ain't an animal.
2.
Chargers.
Okay, that's 2.
Commanders and Chargers.
Browns ain't an animal. It's a color.
Man.
Raiders.
Raiders.
The
Raiders. Yep. The Bucks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, we got the Texans
Saints.
and all.
We're on the same now.
Let me keep going. I don't got no more.
Go ahead.
Texans. The Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of teams that's not an animal, man.
7 out of 32.
He was just trying to call me.
Right. No, that's right. No, I was just trying to. Nah.
Toya, tell him to stop calling me out. You know him. Jets.
Didn't he say the Jets?
Jet.
All right,
Come on,
Diddy.
man.
Chill out.
The Giants.
What's the Giants?
Yeah, see, it's only the teams you care about. The Vikings.
I mean, they like
you should have came out there with Kirk time.
I should have said that earlier. I wasn't even thinking about it. Kirk Cousins is dead to me,
You don't really care about the Vikings.
Hold on, Toya just gonna say, well, she ain't gonna defend me. She's not confirming or denying it. Man, Toya, I see you this week, man. Get on my Peloton, sweat something off. Anger. But no, so we like seeing them. But again, this is about Iowa State. So Austin, what is one of your most favorite stories about playing at Jack Trice Stadium and Iowa State. What's one of your favorite memories out there, man?
I'll give you two. We played Texas Tech my senior year. I threw 5 touchdown passes. That was a lot of fun. We had a good game. That was the first time I beat Texas Tech at home. And then for me, it was always getting to play in front of my dad. My dad played there in the late 70s. So being able to look up and see him before the game, every game, like that was always fulfilling to me. He's not with us anymore. But that's something I always remember and hold dear to my heart when I was playing.
I used to play in front of your pops, man, where he played.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. And condolences to that. I know it was a while ago.
Yeah, them five tutties will help a lot too.
Take away the pain of losing all the other times. Like 5 touchdowns. Y'all beat me a couple times, but I'm gonna get y'all back.
My sophomore year, we were 2-10. Right. You know how it goes, man.
It's
tough. I'm sledding. These boys are seeing it right now. You look, last year and then this year, obviously rebuilding. They got some young talent, so I know what that's like. Being in a system where if you have one injury, Curve knows this too. You have one injury on a young team or a team with no depth. Like you're looking down the barrel. You're like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like we done. So to have a team that young, and they showed signs of it obviously in the first half against Oklahoma, and it's shown signs all year. But again, putting all of it together, that 4 quarters, like that's hard for a young team to do. Like they got young leaders. Young leaders are younger. Like I was thinking about that today, like before coming out with y'all. I'm like, man, it's a tough spot for a young team to be in.
Well, we talked about this a couple of times, Austen, is that the fact that you got 4 new coaches in high level positions, from the running backs, receivers, OC. You got these coaches that are new in their first year. We talked about Curve always talks about next man up, and you lose 5 starters, it is next man up. These new captains that are on the team got to step up and show what they can do, because now it's all on their shoulders. Before they could sit back and say, "Oh, we got somebody there, and I ain't really got to worry about it too much. I got to be prepared, but I don't got to be as prepared." Now these guys got to be really prepared, and the next level got to be even more prepared too, because you don't know what's going to happen. Because everybody's so new, they're going to be trying to find the right pieces to put together, trying to find the right schemes in there that's going to work for what they're trying to do. And so, yes, there's a lot of growing pains out there right now that we are experiencing. And so these lulls we have, beating Oklahoma State, ups and downs, losing the teams we shouldn't lose. We shouldn't use the OU. We shouldn't use Athens, Mac School. We shouldn't have lost to them 10-7. Then we beat Oklahoma State. Yeah, Oklahoma's good. Oklahoma always has a team. They're always tough. But we got spanked in that second half. We showed light. Going against TCU, we can play these guys well. So we just got to show up. And that's what I'm hoping. We show up, and I'm hoping that the team understands the brevity of what they're doing this week, especially with the Jack Trice 100 game. 5 members of the Trice family in the stands, people out there wearing all their Jack Trice gear, wearing these special uniforms that pay homage to different parts of Ames College, Iowa State College, and Jack Trice. Mm-hmm. What is about to happen on Saturday? And it's a night game, 7:00 game. Like, I thought this was going to be the 11:00 game. I got to be up at the Buck Cracker Dime for our tailgate. And then they said 7:00. Oh, so for the fans, please don't be too drunk. Please don't be too drunk. I know it's a 7:00 game. Don't party too hard. Make it to the game. Be awake. Take a nap. Go in your car. Take a nap. But make it to the game. But it's just, again, these young men are going to be out there, and they're going to try to bounce back. But I just hope they don't make stupid mistakes trying to overcome and overcompensate for what they think they did last week, because this is a different team they're preparing for. And you all had to prepare for a lot of things in y'all kind of competition in y'all life. So y'all know exactly what this is going to look like to bounce back from a loss like that. So this question's for all 3 of y'all. Is the biggest loss that hurt the most at Iowa State for you? And I don't know who wants to go first, but the biggest loss that you experienced at Iowa State. And then after that, I want to know what happened in that next game, whether you lost or you won. I want to know what happened, if you remember what happened in that next game. But I just want to hear from y'all about that.
Well, for me, without a doubt, it's the Michigan State game. I mean, we can go to any further in the NCAA tournament. We were playing Michigan State, in Detroit. So you know how that goes. But we're on such a great run. I saw the national championship trophy months before the season started, and I wanted it. I wanted it really, really bad. So throughout the year, that's the only thing that I was playing for. You know, it was the season was almost a complete buzz because it feels like we just buzzed through it to get to that point. And to lose that game the way we lost that game to the eventual, you know, national championships, that champion winner, that made it that much harder. But to lose that game, you know, I'm originally from Detroit. The game was in the Palace, so family and friends and everyone was there. You know, to lose that game was you know, the most disheartening in my career. And unfortunately, that was the last one because after that, you know, I declared for the draft, and you know, the rest is history. So definitely that Michigan State game.
I mean, for me, because you know, Texas guy, man, in any Texas team we played, I hate to lose to, but I think the game that I had the most people at would have been our TCU game, and you know, like Marcus said, man, just being back home, playing in front of your friends and family, and you know, they finally getting a chance to see you, not on TV and in person, and for us to kind of lose that was my junior year, and so it's a lot in limbo that year for me personally, and decided to stick it out. So I came back for my senior year, but that was a tough one to lose because I know I personally accounted for like 35, 40 tickets, high school friends and folks I hadn't seen, you know what I'm saying? So that one hurt. Losing against Texas too. I hate losing against Texas, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, everybody hates that one.
Yeah. I'll say similar to Marcus, the last one was always, you know, that's for me. We played at Boulder a long time ago when Big 12 was, you know, when Colorado was still in the Big 12. I tore my ACL and MCL. It was the second to last game of my senior year. So the next game after that was a home game against Missouri. And not to mention, we had just lost to Nebraska. We was 5-5. Tear my ACL, go 5-6, come back. Missouri at home against, I think Jerome Tiller was a starting quarterback that came in after me as a freshman and lost that game. So end the season 5-7 after tearing up your knee. That was a tough one for me to swallow. But I will say, like, you know, those are the type of games that I'm sure, Marcus, you can agree with this. Like, those are the type they build you as a man, build you as character. Like, I think about that like now, and it feels like it was nothing, but at the time, like, you know, it was tough. It was really tough. So I would say, yeah, losing to Colorado at Colorado my senior year was tough for me.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, you have those. You know, you bounce back from those, and those are the toughest ones to deal with. But you know, thanks for sharing that. And Austen, where are you originally from? Forgive me for that.
I grew up in Ames.
Oh, you grew up in Ames. Nice.
Yes,
okay. All right. I don't think I knew that. Oh, okay. That's
he only said it at the top. He only said it at the top of the pod, but it's all good. Just, you know, just because. I'll see you Saturday, George.
Hey, I'll see you Saturday. No, I can't stand y'all. Hey, we didn't have that many people talking on the chat today, and I don't have access to a lot of stuff, so I can't see the stuff. Shit, we gotta get this fixed. I said ship, not shit, y'all. I don't know, whatever. But we close this episode out because we've been on here about an hour. Austen, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about anything that you haven't talked about. Brandon, we don't care that you saw him playing Ames. Brandon Thomas is on here.
Yeah, you're gonna do him like that.
I finally jumped on.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for your commentary, Brandon. But as we do, you know, what's your favorite Ames memory? You know, Ames, Iowa State. You know, you growing up there. That's why I was asking the question, Kirby, because it was going to frame my follow-up question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. I got to let you host, man. My bad.
I cut you off sometimes too. I get it. I get it. Payback. I did see you last time.
Brandon told me to jump in. Brandon
didn't say that. Brandon didn't say that. Man, you lied. Brandon said he was being Betty Crocker. And if you don't know what Betty Crocker is, that means he was being on a date caking. So when he saw you play, he was caking with some girl. I don't know. We don't know who it was. But your favorite memory in Ames, your favorite memory that you could think of, even growing up, just watching the games out there. But what's one of your favorite memories about, you know, football, Iowa State football, basketball, any Iowa State sport? What's your favorite memory?
Well, I got to give it a plug in the honor of the legacy of the 100th game. that's a big thing for me. Like I said, my dad played in the late 70s, early 80s. Started out, I think probably like early 70s, late 60s. It was regular for Black folks to be on a team, get scholarships. To like, he was one of the, in my eyes, one of the pioneers, along with Dwayne Crutchfield. Some guys that he played with at Iowa State. So for me, it's the legacy side, and my mom still has this picture from the newspaper of me standing out next to Jack, with my leather jacket on. So that's something I really do remember and take pride in come from Ames. Like, people was like, oh yeah, because when you say Iowa State, oh yeah, Jack Trice. Like, so it's immediate, especially out here in California where people don't know much about Iowa State, but they do know who Jack Trice is. So that's important to me. And then for me, I grew up on the hillside before they knocked out the hills, and I was a kid playing football on the side, watching guys like Sage Rosenfels and Todd Bandauer and Lane Danielson, and even in high school watching Curve play, and like that was the coolest thing for me ever, to see those guys from the grass and playing tackle football. So that's always a memory that I cherish, is seeing the guys that did it before me and being able to do it at a high level like they did.
I'm glad you shouted out Sage and Lane. They were supposed to get on with us tonight, but they had some conflicts and everything like that.
I know how Sage and Lane move now. You gotta get a calendar. You gotta book some time.
Sage was like, he was like, during the day works better for me, to be honest. I'm like,
there you go.
Who does it during? I mean, if this was pre-recorded, Sage, yes, Sage, I'm calling you out. You my homie. But man, it's crazy. But Sage,
he's got a lot of time on his hands. That's why he's talking about during the day. He'll call me once a week and be like, hey, what do you think about this idea? I'm like, Sage, yeah, let's run with it, man. He's funny, dude. I love it.
Yeah, good dude. I just actually, so I got these, we got these Iowa State playing cards. I didn't get one of you yet, Austen, but I got some of Sage. I sent them to Sage. So Sage is gonna sign them. So he got them right now. TD, Big Troy Davis got some cards he's signing for us right now. I got a box over here with Will McDonald's jersey and some cards for him to sign. So Will, give me your agent's information, because I don't have your direct, and I'm tired of texting Brees Hall, bothering him. It's the season. I can't be bothering them. I need agents' numbers so I can say bother the agents. That's their job. But even if you give me your stuff, I'll call you. But just these guys, and going back and looking at the history, and some of this stuff is, I don't know the history before like 1997. I'm a transplant, and 88 was the first time I had heard about Jack Trice Stadium. That's when Jack Trice was when my grandfather went out there for the unveiling of the statue. So my grandfather, my Uncle Nelson, and my cousin Chester Jr. were out there. I was 8 and had chicken pox, so I couldn't go. And then 97, my football coach, before the school year, or before class one day, in his office, I always go to his office before class, and he's like, hey, there's this article in the Plain Dealer, they just renamed the stadium, Trice, and that's your last name. Are you related? I'm like, I don't know, but give me the article, let me find out. And that's how I found out. And so again, as we look at 100 years now, hold on, Ship just said something, but as we look at 100 years right now, Blaze Bryan is going to be on Old Man Strength on Wednesday. So Blaze, he's signing some cards for me too right now. But Blaze, we get, it's like, it's nostalgia when you get all these names and things like that of people that I've seen. And it's funny, when I talk about and look at, the history and the legacy there, and I look at right now, and not even just the football legacy, but my homeboy James Reed and Cherie, they're going to be at the game. I mean, their daughter is now a cheerleader. So it's like, you look at how long ago that was. And Marcus, James, like how long ago that was. And now his daughter is there. Like, I remember when they didn't have no kids.
Right.
And how long it is in that long running standard. But shout out to Summer. So Summer Reed will be the host for my daughter. So my 5-year-old daughter, Aria, will be cheerleading at the halftime performance for the game on Saturday. And Summer is her sponsor. So I'll be on the field recording Aria in Summer because that's my homeboy. Hold on. Aria, come here. I got to bring Aria on real quick. She's going to be cheering. She ain't got her outfit on, but I think she just took a bath and got her pajamas on. So she's going to think she's pretty and she's going to want to wear these. But, just bringing it back, and especially with this, 100th anniversary, bringing everybody back. And I've been trying to get everybody that played under them lights to get back if they were able to get back. What's up, Booty? So I'm talking about you right now. Come here. We're talking about you and how you're going to be cheerleading on at the game on Saturday when we go to Iowa. So I want you to tell everybody, what you're going to be doing, who you are, and how much fun you're going to have. Okay, hold on.
Wait, Daddy.
Good, baby.
My
Oh,
hair.
okay.
Oh, don't mess up the hair. Don't mess up the hair now.
Tell them who you are.
My name is Daria, and I'm 5 years old.
And what are you going to be doing Saturday at the football game?
Cheerleading.
And are you going to have fun? Are you excited?
Yes.
What else do you want to say? Say it.
Go Cyclones.
That's right.
Now,
Yay.
Good.
this is one of her jams right there, so we got to play that. But hey, close out. As we close out this episode inside the story, we want to let y'all know, Sweet Caroline, But hey, Austin, we appreciate you jumping on. Marcus, as always, big play as always. Shipley's running in the background. Thanks everybody watching. Jack Trice 100 game. Go to Jack Trice 100. Find out about all the information about things that are going on. The library on Thursday. Camara. If you say Jack Trice, links in there for 25% of the proceeds, whatever you buy comes back to the foundation. So it's no money out of your pocket. You're still supporting us. Follow us on any social media, and we will holler at y'all later. Shout out. Let's go.
Peace.